What impact is this on our economy?
Oh, I mean, we've been there before. We got to a point where, twice. First time, the first time we declared HIPC, and that's because our debt became unsustainable. It was difficult for us to borrow, at a cheaper rate. So we declared HIPC and got debt relief. Then, after HIPC, our debt started getting to about 70%. It crossed 60, 65. By the time I came to office, we were heading towards 70%. And that is the reason we set up the sinking fund. So that, and the reason we get to this point is that when you take most of the domestic borrowing, whether it's Treasury bill, it is Bank of Ghana bond, 2-year, or the government bond 5-year, Bank of Ghana notes 1 year, 2-year notes, and then the domestic bonds 3 years, 5 years, and now we are doing 10 years and whatever. We don't pay down. We just refinance. And when you refinance, you go into what you call the rollover risk, because you have to get, in addition to financing the current budget, you have to get people, you have to get a market to give you money, to buy yourself the bonds which you should have retired from your budget or from another fund source that you are putting in place, right? And it's also sustainable, so that's why we set up the sinking fund, so that we can be paying down those interest-only loans. You call them interest-only loans, where you pay only interest, and then the principal comes and you have to pay one time. Okay. But we're refinancing at the same time. But when we refinance, then we're putting the sinking fund in place to be paying over a period of time. So in 2015, we took the World Bank 1 billion, World Bank guaranteed, not the World Bank loan, but World Bank guaranteed bond. The bond we did in 2015 was guaranteed by the World Bank for us to borrow at a cheaper rate, so that we can use it to pay off the bills and the bonds that are falling due, and instead of rolling over, and then, when you roll over, it means that you have an existing debt. Then you borrow to pay that debt, right? Because you want to roll over. But then you borrow again in the same week, take a Treasury bill, you borrow to pay old debt. And in the same week, you are borrowing to finance the budget deficit, for say 3 months or whatever. So you are only piling on. You are borrowing to pay, old debt. Okay, so you have to stop that. It's not sustainable. So we set up a sinking fund. But the sinking fund, as you know, is no longer being put in place again. So we set up refinancing the sinking fund, the budget buffers. So the sinking fund was for debt. Sometimes the reason you go to the market to borrow, even domestically, is when you have drought and power, then you buy gas or crude oil at a very high cost. So that's why you have the stabilization fund. So that those things that affect the budget, then you can go to the stabilization fund and get money from it. Instead of consuming all the oil money when the conditions are good. And then when you are in trouble, then all that you are doing is borrowing. You see, so those were the structures behind the PRME.
Okay.
And it was working, because at the rate at which you take the debt management report, I think page 10 or something, you see that the rate at which we were borrowing was going down. It's in the current year, the 2020 debt management report, which they just released. If you go to page 20, I think page 10 to 15 or so, you see the graph. It was going, the rate that we were borrowing was going down. Then these policies were stopped in 2016. At the end of 2020, from 2017, and then you see the graph that even the curve without bailout costs is going up. Right? Without the borrowing for bailout costs is going up. So it means that we reverse the whole of the PRMA policies and the buffers that we put in place. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are back to where we were as we head towards HIPC. Because at 80%, at 70%, we started putting, at between 65 to 70% was when we started putting these policies in place, and they started to work. Now we are at 80. We've crossed 80. We are likely to be at 85. With the recent borrowing, domestic first quarter, the bond that we just did, and we are likely to be close to 85 because we know that, it's not all arrears that is also being disclosed because of the cash accounting. Okay, so what Moody's is saying is the very thing that we are headed to, this very thing that made us put those policies in place, which we stopped from 2017. And we are putting the oil money and all those things into. We have reduced the stabilization fund cap. We are borrowing, to pay debt. We all know it now, from the structure of the fiscal. So what Moody's is saying is what, led us to change the policy and which has been reversed. And that is that, as you roll over, it becomes very difficult for you to get more money because the market knows your fiscal. Your fiscal, you report it to the IMF, you report it in your budget and everything. So they know. The market knows. Let me give you a very specific example. The markets know that the 2020 budget, we are using all our tax revenues, even more than our tax revenues, about 115% or so, right, to pay interest and compensation, just these two items. And these are recurrent expenditure. So you are borrowing to pay even these two items. The market, looking at your budget, knows that you need money to pay the other recurrent costs. The market knows that you need money to finance your capital, which you put on the budget. The market knows that all these results include existing loan, which is amortization, which you are going to borrow for that. So anybody looking at Ghana bonds will start increasing the interest rates because they know that it's tight. And some people will stop even because it's becoming risky that you may default. As if you add amortization, then the percentage of tax revenue increases to about 150%.
Okay.
So that's what Moody's is saying, that we'll find it more and more difficult to borrow. Right. And then we are heading back towards Moody's and all that. And this is the very thing that, someone has been saying for a very long time, that the policy, if you defer, if you take 3-year bond, if you take 5-year bond, or if you even take a 10-year sovereign bond, and then you say, I'm going to pay in 40 years, then 40 years will come. 40 years is how long it took for us to borrow at very low interest rates to construct the Akosombo Dam from the World Bank. The difference between borrowing in the market is that you are borrowing at between, the best we have done is 6%, 6.5%, and we have done even 10%. You are borrowing at low rates compared to when you were not a middle-income country, you were a low-income country, you could borrow for 40 years with 10-year moratorium, right? 30 plus 10, 40 years, and at virtually no interest rates. The two types of borrowing for 40 years are completely different. They are not the same.
Okay.
You see, so that's what Moody's is, the warning that Moody's is giving it.
Okay.
And they are saying that unless we can go back, to reverse these things, then we are stuck.